Hello, my name is John Leeds. I studied at Fitzwilliam College some years ago. I work as a career coach and I'm author of 15 books on work and careers. And I'm absolutely delighted to be taking part in the 2020 Fitz Careers Fair. I made 3 short films for you, one on CVs, one on job interviews, and one on finding a job that you will enjoy doing. I hope you find them useful. In the first of these short talks, I'd like to address the topic of CVs. You might be wondering, well, what's the best way to make my CV work? How do I get shortlisted against a range of very, very good candidates? Well, the first thing is to remember what your CV is for. It's there to confirm an initial impression. That initial impression may be formed by a recommendation. It may be formed by something about you on social media. It may be your LinkedIn profile. It may be just something that somebody's heard about you. It may be a short covering email that you send to an organisation that outlines in about 6 bullet points what you are looking for and what you have to offer. On its own, a CV is a weak door opener. If you send it unsolicited to an organisation, it may well be ignored. So let's think about 3 things that can seriously improve your CV. The first thing is to rehearse and think about the message that you want your CV to communicate. So here's a tip for you. Sit down with somebody you know really well, take your draft CV along with you and place it face down on the table, and then tell your friend or your colleague why you would like that person to recommend you to an organisation. Yes, okay, you're an easy person to work with and you're hardworking and you're motivated, but so is everyone else. So think about what it is that somebody would actually mention if they were recommending you. Imagine 2 people standing next to a coffee machine and your name comes up. Why would somebody recommend you? Think about what you're really good at, projects where you've excelled, skills that you enjoy using, things that you know about, organisations and sectors and technologies and brands and ideas that you know something about. Almost any evidence from your work and study history, including voluntary working, look at that in some detail and then pull out what you think are your strongest messages. If your friend writes them down for you, you'll probably end up with about 12 pieces of information. And you can filter from that and translate them into short, punchy statements that become part of the profile and opening bullet points of your CV. The second thing about a CV is to try to anchor the reader's attention, because the attention of the reader will go almost anywhere in the document, but is likely to go to your opening words and to the information which you pack into the top third of a page, and it will also drift down quickly into things like job titles. So think about how you open your CV. Look at the first 30 words from the top and think about how that frames you, how it may limit you or put you in a particular kind of box. So it may be entirely appropriate to begin with your degree subject, but that may be misleading if that's not closely related to the kind of work that you'd like to go into. An employing organisation is interested in the fact that you've got a good degree, will want to know something about why you studied it, but is much, much more interested in anything which looks like a work-related skill or experience that you can bring to the job market. The third thing is just to think about tone and style, and often it needs a really good friend to sit down with you and look at your CV and say, so what? You know, everybody claims these things, so what? What's different about you? And one of the ways of avoiding the so what factor is to try to cut out cliches from your CV. So if your opening line right at the top of your CV says hardworking, highly motivated, self-starter, team player, all of the cliches that people in every decade, every generation use to describe themselves, then you are essentially saying, I'm undifferentiated. I'm just the same as everyone else. So focus on things that you can actually do. Find evidence to back up your skills and put concrete evidence as early on as possible in your CV so that the initial impression, when the reader's attention is anchored, is on evidence of employability. So there's 3 things to help you put together a slightly more effective CV. Think about your overall message. What do you want to say in the first half page? Avoid cliches and focus on things that will really anchor the reader's attention.